you're working remotely like so many people are, in a house, with a family, with kids, first-time head coach. I mean, what is that like for you? Is it difficult? Is it any technical glitches? Any family emergencies you got to run out to do? Tell us what your new normal is like now.
You know what the new normal for me is? My office is just moved to my basement, and I operate out of my basement. Same work hours I would hold if I was in the office, up early, stay late, make sure you get everything done. We still meet on a regular basis as a staff, whether that's, offense or defense or as an entire staff, strength staff, whatever it is. But we're meeting through, online virtual meetings. And I'd say, look, we have technology that's allowing this to be very functional and productive. And there's been some adjustments by everybody, but that's our job, is to figure it out and move forward. One thing I'll tell you that I'm very confident is when we start dealing with the players, there's no generation of players that's been more prepared for this offseason than the ones we're going to deal with now. They're very technologically savvy. They're going to have a lot of feedback that we're going to get from them that we're going to rely on in terms of how we can improve our meetings through what helps them. So everybody's adjusted. I think if the worst thing we're dealing with right now, to be honest with you, is working out of our basement, we've got it pretty good. Look, there's a lot of people out there right now who don't have jobs to go to with the situation. There's, police, fire department. There's nurses who leave their, house every day and leave their family behind, and they're putting themselves out there to protect us. So I think there's people we have to acknowledge, with the right perspective, have it a lot tougher than just a bunch of football coaches trying to function and get ready for an off season and a draft.
All the free agents I think you signed this year, you or members of your staff have had some kind of past history with. How important is that in integrating that prior knowledge with what you're trying to build in terms of maybe having these players serve as group leaders and stuff?
I don't think we're looking for any players to come in and be ambassadors, or to raise the other players. We added players to our roster we think are good players. Some we had previous exposure with, some we didn't. But it's a small league. Whether you're coaching a player, coaching against them, or watching them on crossover tape every week, you know the league. And I believe all the players we added have a great deal of value. I believe they're all going to add to our team. They're all going to compete, which is the biggest thing we like out of all the players we've added. You watch them on tape, they all have very competitive natures of how they play, and that's the biggest thing to us right there. As far as our previous relationships with these players, that's not going to give them an edge or an advantage over any player that's on this roster or that we're going to add at any point to this roster. We're always going to play the best player. We're always going to play the player that gives us the best opportunity to match up with an opponent by that week's game plan. And I'd say the players that are coming in should know that about us already. They don't expect special treatment. I've had the opportunity to talk to all these players individually when we sign them. The message is very clear. The expectations for them are the same as everybody else on this team. No one at this point on the roster has an advantage over anybody else for a spot on this team.
Could you just give us an idea how next Thursday, Friday, Saturday are going to work for you? Are you going to be locked in that basement? Are you going to – I actually read a quote from the Chargers GM that he's going to have his kids help him out, like tracking other teams' picks and stuff. Is it going to just be you isolated in your basement talking on video chat with Dave and the scouts? How do you envision the actual 3 days of the draft working?
Well, I'll have a more accurate picture for you after we go through a couple mock drafts ourselves as an organization with the league. However, I have told my kids that, there's times when we need them to get out of the basement. There's other times they can be present. Based on how we set up our draft board, that I can have a visual in my basement. I've already talked to them about possibly taking tags off the wall and organizing different things. I'm not looking to make this a vacation for anybody. We've got a lot of serious work to get done, but it is still our house. And like everyone else in America is finding out, everyone's working with their family, always present. And that's pretty true for us. I got a golden retriever sits on a couch next to me for about 15 hours a day. So, right now she could probably tell you more about who we're going to take in the first round than anybody else.
Joe, what's your message to the fans of the New York Football Giants right now?
The biggest thing is beyond football, guys, is, I hope everyone out there is safe. I hope everyone's healthy. I hope everyone can stay in good spirits. We're doing our best right here to get back to work for you guys so you have something to watch and be proud of. I can assure you, we're going to make sure that, the hard work that they have in their communities and the things that people are looking for getting back to a normal life resumes. We're going to make sure that, what they've been anticipating, that we put that on the field. We give them a product they can be proud of. I'd like to thank all the, I want to thank all the first responders too. Listen, the police, the fire department, every doctor, every nurse, ambulance driver. You know, you find out how essential life is. Talk about essential employees, but how we really would be, you know, struggling to function without people that do the everyday things for us. And look, it's tough sitting in your house. It's a lot tougher going out there every day, being exposed to the virus and doing your job, and then having to go home and look your family in the eye. And we can't take lightly the sacrifice that all those people are making for us, and we appreciate it.